Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something pretty interesting linguistically. Ever notice how some languages seem to just drop the subject of a sentence?
Yeah, like it just vanishes.
Exactly. We're talking about null subjects and what are called pro-drop languages.
Mhm.
Our mission, really, is to figure out what these invisible subjects are, why they pop up in some languages, and what makes a language pro-drop.
It's a neat linguistic trick, really. A bit of grammatical hide and seek.
Okay, hide and seek. I like that. So let's start right there. What exactly is a null subject?
Okay, so think about saying, went to the store. In English, you'd immediately ask, wait, who went?
Right. Yeah. It feels incomplete.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A null subject is basically when that who, the subject, isn't said out loud, but crucially, it's still understood. Grammatically, it's there. The verb often gives it away.
Oh, okay. So the verb's doing some extra work. And is that where pro-drop fits in? What's the deal with a language being pro-drop?
Yeah, precisely. A pro-drop language is one that's perfectly happy letting you omit those subject pronouns, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. You can just drop the pronoun, hence pro-drop. It's not ungrammatical or confusing in those languages.
That sounds super efficient. Like, why say it if you don't have to? But how do they manage that? What's the mechanism?
Well, the big secret usually is what linguists call rich verbal morphology.
Okay. Sounds fancy. Break that down.
It just means the verb endings are really informative. So instead of one form like speak, for almost everyone, the verb ending changes significantly depending on who is speaking. You might have a special ending just for I speak, a different one for you speak, another for they speak.
Ah, I see. So the ending itself tells you I or you or they.
Exactly. It encodes the subject. So saying the pronoun I would be kind of redundant. The verb already told you.
Okay, so the verb is like a little information packet. Is that the only clue, or is there other grammatical stuff going on?
Oh, there's definitely other evidence linguists look for. Things like agreement patterns elsewhere in the sentence, or how other words behave. These things suggest that syntactically there is a subject slot, even if nothing's pronounced there. It's like an invisible placeholder.
Hmm. Interesting. So does this affect how people, say, learn these languages as a second language, maybe?
It certainly adds a twist. If you're learning a pro-drop language, you have to get really good, really fast at decoding those verb endings.
Right, because that's where the subject information is hiding.
Exactly. And going the other way, if your first language is pro-drop and you learn English, you have to consciously remember to always stick those pronouns in. It feels unnatural at first.
I can imagine. Okay, what about more complex sentences like subordinate clauses? Can you still drop subjects in, the middle part of a sentence?
Generally, yeah.
Right.
If the verb inside that clause has the right marking, or if the context makes it super clear who the subject of that bit is meant to be, then pro-drop can often still happen there too.
Gotcha. Now, I think I've heard another term thrown around, topic drop. Is that the same thing, just different jargon?
Ah, good question. No, they're related but distinct. Pro-drop is specifically about subject pronouns being omitted but grammatically recoverable, usually via the verb. Topic drop is a bit broader. It's where you can omit something, could be the subject, could be the object, simply because it's the obvious topic of conversation. It's more about discourse context.
Okay, so pro drop is more grammatical, topic drop is more conversational context?
You could put it that way, yeah. Think of Japanese or Korean. They do a lot of topic drop. Spanish or Italian are classic pro-drop examples.
Right. So it varies a lot then. Not all languages do this.
Not at all. It's a real spectrum.
Yeah.
You've got languages like Spanish that do it consistently, languages like English or French that generally don't allow it for subjects, and others may be somewhere in between. It's a major point of variation.
Okay, so if the pronoun isn't there and we rely on the verb and context, how reliable is that? How do we really know who we're talking about?
It's usually a combination of things. The verb ending is often the primary clue, like we said. But also the flow of the conversation, the previous sentences, general world knowledge, it all feeds into interpreting who that unstated subject is. Usually it's unambiguous in context.
This whole thing makes you wonder about language change. Can a language sort of become pro-drop over time or lose the ability?
Absolutely. That's a really fascinating area of historical linguistics. Languages evolve constantly. You might see, for instance, verb endings becoming less distinct over centuries. If that happens, the language might lose its ability to pro-drop reliably and start requiring explicit pronouns more often.
Like maybe happened with French compared to Latin.
That's a common example discussed, yeah. Or conversely, grammatical changes could lead a language towards being pro-drop. It's dynamic.
So wrapping this up a bit, The main takeaway is that pro-drop languages use grammar, especially these information-rich verbs, to allow subjects to be omitted, giving a different way to structure thoughts.
That's a great summary. It's about grammatical license, enabled by specific features of the language.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about efficiency versus maybe potential ambiguity.
hmm What are the trade-offs? Does this grammatical shorthand speed things up or open the door for misunderstanding sometimes? It showcases the different design choices languages make.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for breaking down this whole null subject thing. And for you listening, here's a final thought. In languages like English that insist on subjects, are we sometimes being, well, a bit repetitive, overly explicit? What could we gain or lose if English suddenly went pro-drop? Something to mull over.